Okay, welcome back, class. Uh, so we will try to pick off where we left off. So last time we were talking about research, um, conceptualization and operationalization, right? So how do you conceive an idea and how do you convert into something which is actionable, something which you need to collect the data from, right? So, and based on that, like that was we were just talking about some theories and everything. Today we'll be talking about how to actually write or come up with your correct objectives or some of the fundamental qualities of a good objectives. So we'll be talking about that, and of course, before we begin, all of us should think about potential problems which you see in your society. So sometimes a researcher and especially an urban planner, they are very much concerned with what is happening in the society and the city and how to make it better. So we should always start whenever we're going to be starting a research. We must think about what sort of problems are existing in our communities, which is already there. So these are some of the very fundamentals for researchers that they need to come up with a very solid problem statement. What happens sometimes with the student is like they are going to be exploring a new phenomena of, let's say, uh, I would say, uh, green infrastructure. Let's say, okay. Uh, so let's talk. They're saying that let's talk about green infrastructure as a way to mitigate climate change or something like that. So what happens that we need to first identify what the problem is and then identify a solution. Usually happen with the student is they are coming up with a phenomena that this can be used in case of Pakistan and we can resolve this problem. But first we need to think clearly rather than going for the reverse engineering. We need to know that what the problem is and what are the potential solutions available to us and which is the best solution available to us, and that maybe you can propose it later on. So for objectives and questions, first we need to know about a current problem. What is the status of the current problem? What are the causes behind this problem and how can this problem be solved? So this is some criteria, some uh, thinking behind your mind to come up with a problem statement. So what is a research question? Well, most of you might have uh, done or prepared a research questions in your bachelor's level even. So you might have come up with the research questions. For those who do not know, it's simply a question which needs to be answered. Okay. So sometimes in your papers, if you read the papers, research papers, that some people write hypotheses or some people write research questions, and commonly they are abbreviated as RQ. RQ1, RQ2, RQ3. So research question 1, 2, and 3. So in some paper, they write research questions, and that will tell us that this is the paper is about. This is a study which is what the question they're going to be tackling. So this is the paper is about that question, particular questions. So they are sometimes written explicitly in the paper. Well, sometimes those questions are overlapped with the objectives. So some people say that our objectives and questions will, uh, you can say, synonymous. Are they alternative words? Like, can it be used? So the answer to that is yes. Research questions are directly linked to the objectives, but sometimes one objective can answer 2 or 3 research questions, and one questions need to be analyzed by 2 or 3 objectives. So it is not one-to-one criteria. Like if it is 4 research questions in the paper, so it means 4 objectives. No, it's not like that. So it might be like maybe 6 questions, so 4 questions, and then maybe 6 or 7 objectives need to be done to answer those questions. And similarly, if there are, let's say, 4 questions, objectives can be 2, and 2 objectives can tackle uh, your, I would say, your objectives. Okay, so how to define your research problem? So coming back to, let's think about you're thinking about your topics, right? So coming back to the, if you think that how are you going to be choosing your research topic? So what would be your potential research problem? What would be the area of interest? Uh, will you need any help for resolving this problem? Okay, and what criteria do you need to solve this problem? So I'll go into it in detail. So the main thing which comes to your mind is that sometimes the questions or the problem statement, it can also be uh, it can also be retrieved from your literature review. So if you have very good literature review, your research problem will be more, I would say, very much research oriented. So sometimes you need to be aware of what is the current level of research already being done on this problem. So you need to have a very good uh, grip on that as well. So that will really help you in defining your research questions. So you need to have a quick literature review. You need to know what are the developments behind this problem. What are already case studies already been developed in the world, and how they have tried to answer this problem. So how this problem is evolved. Okay, and regarding this problem, is it related to your problem? Is related to community, policy, program, project, or what phenomena? So they are depending upon your potential source, your I would say target audience, target uh, research audience. I would say target community or people which face this problem. Okay, that can really help you in coming up with the problem statement. So you need to provide some kind of statistics that this is what is happening in this community. This is percentage of losses and whatever. So this will really help you on. This will really help you in answering the coming up with the problem statement, a very solid problem statement. And you need to be know about what can be done and what can be done. Like in Pakistan, like there are some problems, and we are giving them very hi-fi solutions, which at least in Pakistan are not feasible enough. And we as a researcher, we should be humble enough to know that these are the potential limitations of my country or my research area or my even university. They don't have enough resources to help me resolve this problem. So sometimes you need to know about your existing needs, and you must also be open to change as well. So, and then you need to know you need to do some research and what are the potential solutions. And maybe in your questionnaire, in your research, you might go and check with the institutions or the community, have you tried this option to resolve this problem or not? So for that, you need to know about what are the potential solutions done in the other countries as well, and that might be applicable in case of Pakistan or not. Uh, then, uh, then we can go for like it starts with like the problem this study was to this study was concerned with, this study designed to. So these some keywords which really helps you. I would read these keywords, and I will after uh, these keywords, I can know about the problem statement. Okay, so this is what my student or this is what this researcher is going to be doing. So this is the problem statement. Okay, so it is a problem which an investigator presents and justifies in the cities. That this is a problem in the society or in the area, and then we can uh, we need to be doing research on that. So some sample are like this study was designed to determine the relationship between stability, performance, and physical growth characteristics of preschool children, school children. So the problem was there's some issues with the stability, performance of the students. Sorry. Uh, so this is the problem. They want to focus. Children are there. They are going to be assessing a relationship, and they need to like have established linkages between this. This is a problem statement kind of thing. And another was study was designed to identify characteristics which differentiate between people who binge Netflix and those who do not. So what makes people, why students watch Netflix and why do they do not? So this is sample problem statements. So why are they important? So well, when we had talked about that research is basically a process. It's a systematic process. So questions basically they guide you. They limit you that this is the scope. This is you want to do. You don't have to go or do research other than that. So defining research questions would really help you in understanding your limitations and basically the scope of your research. So you need to know that you should be focused enough to just answer these questions and not go beyond that. Do not assume anything else, just answer these questions. And research questions also really help you in analysis phase as well, because in analysis, in recommendations, or in conclusion, or this potential, I would say, solutions, you just need to answer, give the solutions which directly resolves your research questions. So questions really help you in linking your research, your methodology, and your findings and the recommendations. So sometimes what I do for research questions, I see, okay, this was the research question. Okay, what are the solution which this student has identified? So I can just read the research questions and then directly go to recommendations, and then I will check, okay, this was the question and this was the solution. And sometimes what students do, they give very generic recommendation which are not in line with your research questions. So this gives you a kind of that students might not have done a very good research. So all of these things should be aligned. So these research questions help you align all of your work. So uh, preparing a question, right? So what is a question? How do you make a question? So why did the chicken cross the road? So this is a question. Okay, you are going to be doing research on that. So is this question okay? Is it valid enough? Is it okay? So no, the answer is not. Like, it's a very vague thing. What chicken? Which road? So you need to be very specific. You're going to do a research on chicken and road. So you're not going to be choosing road. Which road? Lahore, any road in Lahore, or in Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Peshawar. So what? Right? Okay, then you might prepare it like this. How many chickens cross the Kashmir Highway G11 crossing? I'm very specific which place and how many chickens on this particular date. So I have specified it. So my question is there. So again, this again gives you an answer, but it really specifies a problem statement. It's become a bit specific. But again, here the issue is that the question which you have formulated is being answered by maybe one word or two word, one sentence. So that is not enough. The question should be have they should have a room for analysis. So a good question would be like, what are the environmental factors that occurred in G11 crossing on Kashmir Highway on January and February that would cause chickens to cross? So this is a question. This is a research question on which now I know what I have to do. I need to identify for environmental factors. I need to list it down. This is the area. This is my case study area. This is my only focus. I would not be looking into other thing as well, like maybe biological factors or whatever. So environmental factors, I have specified myself as that. And now that factors could be numerous, can be many. So again, you can you can now have a very good analysis on that thing. Okay, again, so research problem will really validates your topic. The topic you are doing, is it worthy of investigation or not? So it really helps you pinpoint or it justifies picking off your topic. So research, one more thing, the problem statement and your research questions, they are very much similar. They were very much, I would say, go hand in hand, right? They're very close together. So the search problem really helps you justify why you pick this topic. It can really readers interest, so maybe it can help you, and also it can add that, okay, this is what this study is about, and maybe it can really help the reader understand it. So here are some again checklist. Now this is not one more thing. This is not hard and fast rules that you need to follow the checklist. So this is just a basic checklist of a research question. That does it define or measure gather facts about a specific phenomena? Does it match facts and theory? You need to have the good research problem statement. All of thing will be covered in your research questions. Now, is it evaluating or comparing anything? Research questions, right? And okay, based on that research question, we might give an objective that we need to prove that question. Okay, now these are the types of question, type of research question. This is very important. So firstly, why question? Why? Why did this happen? So question is why. Cause question, cause and effect question, relationship question. What was the effect on this and on that? Influence factor, so effect of a relationship question. Question types are like this. Comparison question, how these two things are similar or different. Okay, so now these are also being these questions, maybe if you link it to your previous conversations on your research design. So research design also kind of predicts these research questions. Okay, determine what were all the factors which affected this thing. So identification of some factors. Okay, characterization of some processes, that maybe this is a process, how it happens, what are the steps involved in that. So that is the type of question we can discuss on our research. And lastly, most of the time, sometimes the solution oriented questions, that what are the best question strategies available for us to achieve something. Then is purpose question, what was the function or a purpose? That is straightforward. Ways to achieve the purpose question, how to do something and identify something. So again, questions, properties, characteristics question relates again to the other one. Stages, again, this also relates to the processes. Structural questions, how are these parts? So these are some different uh, loose categories for research questions types. Okay. Till now, any question? Anyone? Any question till now? No question? Okay, I'll move on. Okay, so again, if we relate it to our research design questions and we talk it like first we'll talk one by one. So your descriptive questions. To what extent Pakistani people, they are voting for party A or party B? So descriptives, research design question. So this is a question mark, also directly relates to your research design, your whole research design study. So descriptive, to what extent some people, so then is relation. What is relation of this education, maybe gender, maybe socioeconomic factors, maybe how does those relates to your election? Who votes for which party? Okay, that relationship identification. Or why do some certain parties are getting votes? Why, for example, how political campaigns can really help in uh, catching the votes of the candidates for the party A and B. So causal relationship. Right? So these are some different questions based on research design. Okay, another very good question by the students would be like, okay, we talked about questions and objectives that they are very much interrelated. What about research question? Can it be same as hypothesis? Okay, now question is really helps you answering something, right? But hypothesis is more like a prediction, kind of an expectation, right? Okay, so it's like I'm hypothesizing if this will happen, this will happen, this may happen. So you're already kind of making an educated guess. But in research questions, you're not making any kind of guess. You just question mark. Okay, what is happening to this? Okay, okay. I'll let me give you an example. Like I would say that I'm hypothesizing that people the educated people will evacuate quickly in case of uh, early warning system by the government. If the government says that evacuate this area, people will leave. So this is my hypothesis. But my question would be, will people evacuate if government provides warning? Like hypothesis, I'm already giving some positive or a negative that people will evacuate or will not evacuate. But in terms of questions, I'm leaving it open. I'm unbiased about that. So in research question, I say, will people evacuate? The answer can be yes or no. But in a hypothesis, we are assuming that yes or no, people will evacuate or will not evacuate. So this is something a bit different. So hypothesis is a very idea generated, like you are making some future prediction or something, whereas research question is totally focused on answering something which is achievable. Okay, so research question. So this is another, how do we relate your questions and with your objectives. So evaluate, like what was the word I told you that these are the words used. So I'm evaluating effect on house policy on housing provision. Now my objective can be what to like questions would be, what are the effects of housing policy on affordable housing provision? And objectives can be to evaluate effect of housing policy on affordable housing provision. Question would be, uh, does special changes occur in rural and urban settings? And my objective would be to compare spatial changes in rural and urban settings. So question is again converting into objective. To do this, to do that, to, if you use the word to, so to identify factors affecting disaster risk perception. So identification, to identify. Question would be, what are the factors affecting disaster risk perceptions? So those objectives and objectives really go close together. Okay, for a short exercise today, I would like all of you to develop a topic you might have here in your mind. So just makes four questions. Yeah, 4 questions and 4 objectives. Okay, let's make questions. Let's stick to the questions at least. Those questions will be directly converted into objectives anyway. So let's make 4 research questions or objectives. And okay, because it was a class, let's not use it in the class. So make some 4 questions based on your topic. So have a short exercise, and then we can maybe discuss one by one, and you can share the screen and we can discuss one by one. Clear?
सर अभी करके करना है.
अभी कर ले तो बेहतर है क्या?
सही है सर.
Yes, Heath, please.
सर जरा आप रिपीट कर दें एक्सरसाइज आप आपने बताई अभी.
Okay, so you need to just have come up with the 4 objectives or research questions, 4 based on topic, and just you might have some things in your mind, and maybe you just propose 4 objectives. Just make some 4 objectives and or research questions. That would be it.